Why can't you and Tom just allow me to live in my truth?
You can, but you'll be awfully lonely. Only one person lives in that truth. So if you'd like to live with other people, you got to meet them halfway. Are you firing hot?
We are. I am firing hot.
You have a hot singlet?
Yeah, I got a really hot singlet. And I'm not drinking. And my blood pressure is perfect. So I used to think it was because I was drinking. Are we rolling right now?
Yeah.
Let's just talk for a second.
Okay.
Today is day 3 of Sober October.
Yeah.
No, I know I've only haven't been drinking for 3 days. Shut up, LeeAnn.
Hold
Shut up.
on. You're fire hosing me. You've been fire hosing me all day. All day long. You've been, but I don't call it fire hosing from you. It's ragdolling. You ragdoll me.
Yeah. Shut up, Cotty.
Thank you, Cotty. I fire hose you, but you ragdoll me.
I do ragdoll you.
Yes,
you're right.
You've been ragdolling me all day.
Day 3 of Sober October.
Mm-hmm.
Blood pressure's perfect.
Love it.
Slept. My heart rate, I have to say this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm obsessive about my Whoop. And by the way, they do not sponsor this podcast.
No.
This is just genuine love for a product that I am obsessed with.
Mm-hmm.
If you have one, you wear one, do you like wearing your Whoop?
I do. I have a different feeling about it than you do.
What's that? It doesn't look like jewelry?
I'm not obsessive compulsive.
Oh.
So I find it interesting, but I find that if I obsess about it, it takes bandwidth out of my brain. And I'm not really changing my behavior based on the data. So I'm not sure what the usefulness is for me.
Well, if you're not changing your behavior based on the data, then it's useless.
Exactly, because I'm not going to work out anymore. I go see my trainer who tells me how hard I should work out. I'm cool with that. I'm going to walk. What was really cool about the Whoop is that I liked it when we were on fully loaded because it was like a really controlled environment, right? But what I don't like about it is that this sounds really superficial, but I can't really wear any other jewelry. It's really in my way. So if it were like a lower profile thing, like if it weren't so tall, if it laid a little flatter and I could wear other jewelry with it, I would wear it all the time.
Yeah.
But the value of it isn't there enough for me. I'd rather wear my jewelry because I don't use the data enough that it affects me positively.
It's so funny. I don't even notice it's on my wrist. I only draw the value.
I feel it. Except
but I don't even
bangs
realize
around on it.
Like I don't even realize that I go on stage wearing a Whoop all the time. It wasn't when I did my special. I took it off because they were like, "It's a little distracting," and I was like, "Is it?" I haven't even noticed it.
It's very comfortable.
I love it. I'm obsessive about the data.
Yes.
And
do you feel the data helps you improve, or does your data just help you? Does it help waylay your anxiety? What does it help you do?
Sometimes, especially on the road and fully loaded, and I say fully loaded because that's when you were wearing yours, I would stop drinking and start drinking water so I get a good sleep score.
So it impacts you positively.
I would stop. My
the
favorite
data
thing to do
helps you improve your life.
My favorite thing to do is everyone's got a drink on the bus, and I take my drink and I pour it in the sink.
Yeah.
I just dump it in the sink in front of everyone, like a gangster fucking move, and crack a water and murder it.
Yeah.
And then line up 3 waters and drink 4 liquid deaths before I go to bed and know I'll get a good sleep score. I love waking up in the morning and this is not listen, this is just an organic conversation.
Yeah.
That Whoop is not a sponsor of this podcast.
Well, I just said what I didn't like about them. Surely they wouldn't sponsor.
No, I don't want anyone to think that like.
I like
sometimes
them,
when you talk about something on a podcast, everyone's like, ugh, they're getting paid for this.
No,
we're not. We're just
no, totally not.
But the first thing I do in the morning is look to see what my heart rate was while I slept.
Yeah, see, the problem with me is I am really ignorant, and ignorant is the right word, about what my heart rate should even be when I sleep. So it's like this. It's almost like
I'm dying to see what it is.
It's almost like
I'm dying to see what it is.
But listen to my thought. Can I finish my thought there, Ragdollar? Then if I'm looking at it and it goes, your heart rate was 12, I'd go, okay.
Oh no.
I have no idea what that means.
Maybe you need to party hard. Pete's heart rate over Skanks Fest when he was sleeping was 87.
Oh, that's what mine is when I sleep.
Mine's in the 50s.
Yeah, see, I don't know what that means.
So you don't want your heart doing work while you sleep because you only get a finite amount of heartbeats. And so...
Well, I'm going to expire way before you do then if I only have a finite number of heartbeats.
Tell me, go to today, okay?
Well, I haven't worn my Whoop in weeks.
Hey, what questions do we have?
I don't know. You want to jump right into that? We don't want to finish talking about...
What, Sober October?
Yeah.
Yeah, day 3. And I do get stressed out pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. I haven't had a very, very, very stressful 3 days.
Yes.
like
without any alcohol.
without any. My impulse is never to go to alcohol to like de-stress. My impulse, honestly, when we went to the Goose, was to have a drink. I wanted to have a drink because I was at a concert.
Mm-hmm.
But like last night, I don't think I was. My impulse isn't to have a drink, and especially with all the stress, I know the people that go, ugh, I need a drink, and that's not my impulse. My impulse is just to figure out the thing in my head. I know that if I have a drink, I stop thinking about it, which isn't healthy.
Well, I think that is not a fully factual statement. I think sometimes
you're fun to do a podcast with.
No, I think sometimes you do go, oh God, I need a drink. Can we start drinking yet? Is it okay if we drink when you've had stress? Not all the time.
Yeah,
it's not your absolute go-to, but you don't absolutely never do that.
Well, give me an example. Exactly.
I'm
100% right.
I'm sorry, my delayed answer makes me wrong. You didn't even give me the opportunity to give you any
Why
answer.
can't you and Tom just allow me to live in my truth?
You can, but you'll be awfully lonely. Only one person lives in that truth. So if you'd like to live with other people, you got to meet them halfway.
That should be on a t-shirt.
It's
you
true.
can live in your truth, but it's going to be awfully lonely.
It's,
If you want to live with other people, you got to meet them halfway. That's a really profound statement.
it is true. I think you often want everyone to agree with your truth,
It's just don't say anything.
which is an act of agreement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you're just living by yourself. There's no collaboration if we just live in your truth. There's no partnership because it's just yours.
All right, let's take our first caller. I hope someone's like, my wife cuts me off and tells everyone I'm making this up.
I didn't say that.
Hey, LeeAnn. I've been listening to the podcast for a few years now. So my ex actually ended up cheating on me. And like, honestly, like it really fucked me up. We were together for 4 years. We were actually in the process of, like looking at engagement rings, and we lived together for 8 months at the time when we ended up, when we split it up. She ended up actually cheating on me, and she was like talking shit behind my back about me and about my parents. She was hiding drug habits from me. Been almost, 10 months at this point. I've been working on my mental health, and I've been going to therapy, which has really helped. And honestly, it's kind of changed my world. I fucking love it. I'm a super social dude. I love hanging out with, my friends and family, but I'm terrified to put myself back out there. Like internally, I'm ready for like that long-term relationship, like I just turned 30 a couple weeks ago. I'm getting settled into my career at the engineering firm that I work at. I have a house with 2 cats that need a freaking mom. And, I'm just at a point in my life where I'm ready to get married and start a family and, the whole enchilada. But my question is, how do you think I should approach dating again? Like where do I even start? How do I get over this quote unquote fear of letting someone in again? Like all that. So hit me with whatever you got. But I hope you're having a good episode. And I hope Isla isn't ignoring you and Bert whenever you guys are trying to FaceTime. But thanks so much. Bye.
Aw, Isla's not ignoring us. She's doing great.
No, let's rephrase that.
She's been great.
She's been great. She's been talking to LeeAnn a lot.
She has. She hasn't been talking to you?
No.
Oh, she's been talking to me a lot.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate.
Which is more important, to be honest with you.
I don't know if it's more important. Your time will come.
I'll tell you what, I'm talking to Georgia a lot.
Yes, you are. You're talking to Georgia more than me.
The two that butt heads are now connecting the best.
Exactly.
Yeah, so which has been really great.
It's the same thing. Oh, being cheated on really sucks. I got cheated on, and I know Bert's been cheated on and has cheated on people. Mm-hmm. So maybe we should ask you the question.
Oh, I feel like I'm getting fucking blindsided on this whole entire
blindsided.
episode.
If you've been on both, because
I've been on the receiving end and the delivering
I've only been on the receiving end.
Yeah.
So as a deliverer, what would you give? What advice would you give him? And then we can both give advice on being the recipient of being cheated on.
She's dead to you forever. For the rest of your life, she's dead to you. Because as someone who cheats, you're done. You're done. When you cheat, you're done. The thing's over. It's dead in your head.
It was already dead.
It was already dead. It died 8 months ago.
But she was a coward.
She was a coward.
She was a coward.
That is the biggest statement. She was a coward. She didn't have the balls. That's the difference between LeeAnn and me. LeeAnn and me back then is LeeAnn, if she was done, she told you she was done. It's a ballsy fucking person. That's a person who knows what they want and does what they do on purpose with integrity.
That's right. There's no reason. There is no reason to cheat on anybody ever.
I mean,
there's not. I mean, if you think someone's dead or something, you have like real proof someone's dead and they show back up, that's unintentional cheating. Other than that, there's no reason you can't put your big boy britches on and say, I'm not happy here and I'm breaking up.
By the way, you just gave a perfect out to anyone who gets caught cheating in the next week. They're with a girl in their bed.
No.
The girl with the bed, and their girlfriend walks in and goes, "You're alive?
You know
Shut
that.
up! Oh my God! I thought you were dead. You need to leave. She's here. Oh my God! I'm freaked out."
That's not what I meant, and you know that.
You are accurate. You need to accept the fact that you were dead to her before you knew it. You were a ghost walking around an apartment.
And I'll tell you what.
And this is powerful. These are powerful realizations that you have to come to. I have like 4 more I'm going to bring your way that I had to come with and figure out.
You mean after being cheated on?
After being cheated on, I had to realize, okay, this person does not love me. Hold on, but I love them. Why is this happening? Hang on, I did the right thing. I did the right work. Why is this happening? And
that's only one thing.
I know I'm not done.
Oh, okay.
Then you have to realize, and this is going to hurt, you had something to do with it. There's something like, listen, not always, but like
that's true.
I had to come to the realization that, I was a lot I wasn't doing to fulfill her because we dated for 4 years. And there was a lot of things when I look back in hindsight that I go, I wasn't the best boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And there was weird things that I did. You should talk about this in therapy. Weird things I did. I'm guessing they have to do with your family because that's the thing she seems to highlight. The shit she's talking shit about you about, maybe you got to, here's my deal. And I know I don't like saying this. You got to accept accountability for. At a certain point, after I got cheated on for the second time, and I was in New York, and I got cheated on again. And I was like, I literally said, maybe it's me.
Mm-hmm.
I literally was like, maybe it's me and I'm fucking broken.
Well, there's parts of that you could break down into, it could be that you were a bad boyfriend or whatever. It could be that you're not paying attention to her, not listening to her after work or whatever, fill in those blanks. But it could also be something as simple as you saw the signs that she wasn't right for you and you kept moving forward anyway.
Ooh,
right?
That's a powerful statement.
So that's where I'm more interested. Obviously, it's important to see where you could have improved yourself and being a better boyfriend or better partner or whatever. But to me, the deeper issue is what she was showing me this before. Like I know people who use drugs often hide them. They have a lot of secrets to keep people from knowing that they're doing, questionable behavior. And you're not a detective. You're not a mind reader. I get all of that. However, our intuition as a human being is really, really keen. Mm-hmm. And just think back to where the signs were when they started. If someone makes fun of your family a little too much, your family might be all dorks, but they're still your family. If that person's making fun of your family too much, that's the wrong person. Then that person doesn't get to be in your family. And that is a big red flag. So where did you miss some of those flags? It's because the real question you have is, how do I trust again? How do I fall in love again?
Oh, and just giving you a heads up, I hate that I'm about to say this, but it may be never.
That's not true. I don't want to think
No, it's not with a person, but it's not with a person.
He already has 2 cats.
No, hang on, hear me out. I trust you entirely.
Yeah.
But man, me getting cheated on rears its head in places you would not expect it.
Like where?
Like this week.
Like this week?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
The stuff that goes down this week where I was like, what the fuck's happening? And then you start getting really, and it's maybe not even that, but you start reacting. You start getting reactive in the way of when you got cheated on. How about this? You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
When Georgia started like distancing herself from me.
Yes.
And I started acting like a psycho ex-boyfriend.
Yes.
Like it's going to rear its head in crazy places you won't expect it.
You'll be triggered.
You'll be triggered by that feeling of when you found out you were cheated on.
Betrayal.
Is going to show up, and not just with women. It may never rear its head again with women, but it'll show its head. I'm going to tell you another where it shows up. Reality productions, reality TV show productions for me.
Uh-huh.
I always feel like I'm I'm getting cheated on. Like they're doing something behind my back. What the fuck's this? Hold on. How come I can't see what that paper is? Let me show me the paper. What? No, if there's nothing about on the paper, let me see the paper.
It makes you suspicious.
It makes me suspicious, and I'm not trusting. It's crazy. So you need to be aware of that. Here's the beauty of this. The greatest part about getting cheated on is it's over for real. And you get to start with my favorite things in the world. It's my favorite sentence in the world. And the feeling of it's even better. Your salad days. Is time to have a salad in life. You get to start all over. You're in therapy. Get in fucking crazy shape. Make her regret. Vengeance is such a motivator. Make her regret that she fucked this up. Make her look at you and go, God damn it, I did not see that for him. That success for him is wild. It doesn't have to be your lifelong motivation, but that for the next 6 months, for the next year, do everything you can to better yourself. Instead of going out, go for a bike ride at 10 o'clock at night and go around your neighborhood for 2 hours and listen to fucking inspiring music. Wake up at 6 in the morning, go for a hike, then go to the gym. Do crazy stuff. Have a day where you do crazy stuff that really, someone said one time, how can you expect change if you're doing the same thing every single day? In order to affect change, you got to do something wildly different every day. Do something wildly different every single day. These are my favorite conversations to have because I've been there. When LeeAnn broke up with me, I got a little taste of salad days, and I realized I've done all the work to be the better person. I just got to do the shit she says. Like I lost the weight. I did all. I just lost weight. But now's when you get to fucking overdrive, overhaul your life into exactly what you want, and you get to find the woman you want. You should also do like a wish list of what you want in a woman. You know, one of the things I wanted in a woman, someone that looked me in the eyes when they talk to me. That's so sad. That's so sad that I was. No,
I don't think that's sad. I think that goes back. People think that they need to take big swings and make big changes, and that's not always true. You know, the way you get in shape is consistency. It's if you work out once really hard, it doesn't matter. You have to work out consistently. And it doesn't have to be super crazy hard. It just has to be consistent. And so sometimes with how you think about yourself, how you feel about yourself, or with the people you draw to you, if you're consistently drawing people who betray you, who mistreat you, then there's some consistency within yourself you're repeating. There's some pattern you're repeating in your own behavior. So if you're in therapy, it's the perfect opportunity to figure out what in that deep kind of part of your brain is accepting the lies she told, is accepting your treatment, her treatment of your family in that way, is accepting this sneakiness, because on some level, some part of you is accepting it. I mean, like when Bert and I broke up, he had some behavior with my friends that I didn't like. And I was like, if I allow myself to just go, well, it's okay, then I'm agreeing to let that be that way forever. Or I can say, hold on, I need to take a minute here because this moment with my friends bothered me. So I need to figure out what that is for me and for you and for my friends. I need to figure that out. And I did. But if you don't, here's what I was going to say too. When something tragic like this happens, it is.
And by the way, this is, just to put a footnote in this is absolutely tragic.
It is tragic.
Being cheated on, they say that betrayal by a friend is worse than death.
It's very traumatic. It's terrible. But you can't build muscle without tearing a little muscle. You have to tear it to build it stronger.
Your heart's just going to get stronger.
So that's right. If you dig in and do the work, if you find your accountability, you can't do anything about her accountability. She cheated. You don't sound to me to be even vengeful. You sound to be kind of just heartbroken. And to me, that's a much healthier place than being vengeful, because being heartbroken is really what's below the vengeful. That's really at the base, is that you're heartbroken.
Vengeance is normal.
Vengeance is a protective mechanism.
Don't
right?
ever, can I tell you, you have to make a timeline. And I did this. I did the last person that cheated on me. I did this. I made a timeline. I will not answer their phone call for, I'm trying to think when it happened, right? I will not answer their phone call for 6 months. For 6 months, I figured in 6 months, I won't be angry anymore. So I won't say things that are going to be hateful, or I won't say things that'll compromise me. I'll be measured when I talk to her. And she called me on the corner of La Cienega and Beverly. Do you know that Chevron across from? And I was there, and I was going to a cool party that night. And she was like, "Hey, I'm in LA. I'd love to hang out. You haven't answered my call. I'm surprised you answered." And I was like, "Hey, what's up?" She's like, "I'm in LA. I want to hang out." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm so sorry." I just was like, I was putting gas in my car. I think Eddie was in the front seat, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm so busy this weekend, but yeah, have a good time in LA. If you need any like recommendations or anything where to eat, like hit me up." And I wasn't being a dick.
Yeah.
I wasn't being an asshole.
Yeah.
And I hung up and I got in the car with Eddie and I was confused. And he said, "Who was that?" And I told him, and he went, "Oh God, are we seeing her?" And I went, "No." He went, "What?" Because you know me, that's not my behavior. And I went, "Yeah." And then I was like, "Wow, that's crazy. That's fucking wild. I was just nice to her." And I was like, so put a timeline.
That and understand your value system for yourself. If she didn't value you enough to be honest, to be upfront, and to set you free, right? Then you value yourself enough to let yourself free of her. Right? I suffered over the boyfriend that cheated on me forever. And guess what? That meant he owned me.
Yeah.
He owned me. He had real estate in my brain. He had real estate in my heart. And there's no way I could have let anybody else in.
Ooh, real
because
estate.
he owned some real estate. So
you need to put a for sale sign on your heart.
Yes.
Ooh, should we make that a t-shirt?
Clear it up.
Your heart needs a for sale sign.
2 t-shirts.
Or just for
and
rent.
then the first question.
Actually, just get a squatter in there.
She's squatting. If you allow her to stay.
She's squatting in your heart.
So let her go. Let her go and say, you know what? If you focus on, I just gave this advice to somebody yesterday. I have a friend who actually is dealing with a betrayal of a friend. A friend betrayed her in a really big way. And she kept saying to me, I saw the red flags and I just gave her the benefit of the doubt over and over and over again. And I said, well, to me, that tells me that you are not dealing in truth in a certain way.
Yeah.
So if I were you, I would start stacking truths about yourself. I would wake up every day and write one undeniable truth. And after you've done this over and over again for a certain amount of time, all those undeniable truths will patch those broken places in you, because you will see more and more how she's not deserving of your friendship because of these truths that you decided to ignore to give her the benefit of the doubt, right? You can do that for yourself. You can sit down and go, I was great at this. I have an amazing job. I'm 30 years old. I have 2 cats. That's amazing. I love my family. I love my hobbies, whatever it is I do. I deserve to be loved. I want love. I want that long-term relation. These are truths. And if you really write them all down and keep them together, they become really powerful. And I totally agree with you, Bert. I think you should write down what you want in a partner.
Write down all the things.
I vision boarded what I wanted in a partner. Remember that?
I don't.
You don't remember that we found my vision board and it was all you?
Yeah, it's all me.
It was.
No, I just wrote down what I wanted in a partner.
I left anxiety out. I would put like stability.
I hope this helps, buddy. I hope this helps. And just know the person you get, you may love the fuck out of them, and sometimes they fire hose you.
Or they ragdoll you. It happens.
Or they buy you matching tracksuits.
Well, I was just going to let it go unmentioned, because isn't it cool that we just match and nobody knows? It's our empty nester thing. It's our empty nester uniform.
I bought these so that we could go like on a plane together or go to an event together. And it's like, let's go to dinner together. Do you know what?
What's the difference? What's the difference between dinner and that?
Psychos we look like when we walk into a restaurant?
As if we wouldn't if we walked on a plane.
It looks like we just got done watching The Price is Right. Like people are like, oh.
And it's not the same if we board a plane dressed alike.
No, board a plane's cool. Then we're getting old together.
Is it?
I'm going to buy us nothing but matching tracksuits to fly in.
I love it.
I hope your heart heals, and I hope you get everything you want. As a guy who's been exactly where you are, realize, and I can say this, and with no emotion, I came out on top. Like I won that game. Like I won. I'm really happy with where I am. I'm so fucking happy.
And she doesn't deserve you.
And God doesn't do anything on accident.
I agree.
Everything happens, and I don't want to bring religion in this.
He may have saved you a lot of time and trouble,
buddy. Let me tell you I'm just going to give you the upside. The first person that cheated on me, I said I wanted to be a comedian, and they said, oh, honey, I'm sorry. You're not smart enough to be a comedian. You're stupid funny. Comedians are smart. So, like, I wouldn't tell anyone that ever again.
Oh.
I went, wow, I definitely won't. I don't ever want to hear that assessment of me ever again. And so I'm so glad that happened. I'm so glad she cheated on me, because had that not happened, I wouldn't be having the amazing life I have today at all. And it's so everything happens for a fucking reason.
I agree. Wait, I agree. I just noticed our tracksuit is reversed.
I know. That's the beauty of it. That's why it's cool.
Oh, that's why it's cool. They can't be actual matchy-matchy.
No, we complement each other.
Oh, we do compliment.
Yeah, one of us has anxiety and one of us can scratch the other person's back.
That's true.
All right, next question.
Hey, Bert and LeeAnn. My name is Marshall, and longtime fan of Bert's, longtime listener of you, LeeAnn. But I'm just calling because me and my fiance recently engaged, but we now have custody of a 17-year-old girl who has mental health issues, and me and my fiance have been struggling a little bit, not only being new parents, but freshly engaged, and also to a 17-year-old who we had no part in raising. What does being a parent mean to you guys as far as now with two kids in college, and what did it look like in their teen years? She's 17. Me and my fiance, we're 26 and 28, so I hope you guys have some kind of insight to teen parenting. Thank you so much.
Buddy, you got airdropped into France on D-Day. You're behind enemy lines, and you don't know the war that's behind you or in front of you. That is the hardest age to parent.
Well, I commend you for even
you're a badass.
Agreeing to it. That's an amazing gift you're giving this 17-year-old who may not realize it now.
And
I have some questions.
I had questions too.
Who is this child to you? Is this like a niece, nephew, younger sister? Why do you have custody of her? And what are her mental health problems? So just putting those all out loud, not knowing any of those things, I would say the hardest thing about parenting a teenager is they're very slippery. Mm-hmm. They want what they want, and they can be quite manipulative. So I think the best course of action.
And that's not, we're not saying that's your 17-year-old.
No, that's a 17-year-old.
That's a 17-year-old.
Here's what they want. They want absolute autonomy. And on some level, they know they can't really have it yet. So the inherent struggle within themselves is like, there's this great book called I Hate You, I Hate You. Now can you drive me and Carol to the mall? That's exactly what's going on in their brain. Like, I hate you, I don't want you, but I can't do anything without you. So if you understand that that's part of the struggle going on with any teenage daughter, then that might help you have a little patience with her. I know for us, I read this great book called Untangled, and it's about raising a teenage daughter. She's a little old for the book, but it's definitely talks about teenage girls until like 20. But it might be worth a read for you because it really explains what's going on in their brain developmentally, and also kind of common character flaws, for lack of a better word, that are very prevalent in teenage girls specifically. One of them is lying. Like if you had a daughter who never lied before, biologically, something happens in their brain where they start lying. And they lie about stupid things like, did you put your dishes in the sink? Yes. And the dish is sitting on the counter. So obviously no.
Where were you with your friends at the park? Life 360 says you were at the church.
Yeah, I
Are
don't
you
know.
tracking me? I will always track you. You're like a psycho ex-boyfriend. Oh, honey,
Well,
I'm
that's
worse.
manipulation. That's a lie that then turns into a manipulation.
Okay.
Just and they do that also.
Yeah.
But what this book that I read basically says is that they're just fighting for autonomy. So to lie to you about the dish that you can both obviously see is not there is really not about the dish. It's about them trying to figure out how to be their own person. And I mean, this is a biological thing that happens according to this book that was written by a psychologist who worked in an all-girls school in Chicago for many years and did a lot of brain and neurological study about the growth and development of a teenage girl specifically's brain. That this lying is part of it's just a normal part of their process of growing up. So for me, parenting two teenage daughters, I knew some of these things were going on. So then what the book recommended, which is what we did, is you have to pick the lies that matter in this time period of their life. I'm not a liar. I'm not a proponent of lying, but lying about putting the dish away is not something I would have been punitive with about. However, lying about something that was like a deal breaker, like health and safety, like if you tell me you're going to so-and-so's house, you should be at so-and-so's house. Listen, I broke all those rules too as a kid. Totally broke those rules. So I get it. They're not going to do that.
But that's the number one thing. You also have to remember, she's 17.
Yeah.
Her body is changing.
Yeah.
Internally, I'm not externally, I'm sure as well. But internally, there's a ton of hormones that are pumping through her that make her. Didn't you say that like being a teenage with the amount of hormones is also like being a sociopath or something?
Well, when they do those like ink blot tests on teenage girls between the age of, I think, 13 and 17, they test as psychotic because their brain is developing at such a rate of speed and intensity that they test as a psychotic. So they're not obviously psychotic, but that's a window to how intense their brain development is in that moment. So if they have all this intensity, I would imagine it's really hard to manage simple things like your emotions, like your executive function, like being able to keep up with your assignments and being able to tell the truth sometimes is just, they're already like all windows are open on their processor. And so once you start opening these basic windows, they start kind of shutting down in weird, funky ass ways. One thing they recommended in the book for us, besides choosing your battles, like choosing your drop deads and sticking with the drop deads.
And also pivoting on the drop deads at times.
Well, but sticking to them as much as you can, not to be wishy-washy. There's if you pivot on them, pivot with an explanation, right? Pivot with information. Like, I'm not letting you off the hook. This time it's different because of ABC. There
is so much power in forgiveness.
Yes.
I can think of two instances in particular, both with George, when she broke a rule and was ready for hell to come raining down on her, and it didn't. And I think it helped in both cases, not perfectly, but it definitely alleviated tension in our house, and it definitely got us closer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm trying not to be punitive. I'm trying to live in a reality about my actual life, because I don't live in reality about anything. If you ask me what kind of parent I say I was a terrible parent.
That's not true.
If you ask me what kind of athlete I go, I was one amazing athlete. Like, I never live in like the fucking fact. I always live in whatever I think. I think in extremes.
You think in extremes.
I think in extremes, and I need you to feel the thing I feel.
You're
so
fantastical and catastrophic.
Yeah, I say the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in actuality, I think I was a pretty great dad.
Yeah.
And I not like I'm not.
You were
a pretty great dad, but
just leave it
those
there.
moments.
You were a great dad.
Those moments helped me absolutely of forgiveness or being on her team and trying to help her get through the situation she's put herself in.
Mm-hmm.
Those are very powerful. Also, therapy is you need to get her into therapy, but not like, and we've done this with all our girls. You don't say it when you're having issues. You need to be in therapy.
Right.
You say it on a Sunday morning when you're having breakfast.
That's right. When you're not fighting.
Yeah, when you're not fighting, you say very casually, hey, by the way, you get into therapy. You and your wife and your chick get into therapy tomorrow.
BetterHelp's a great resource for that.
BetterHelp is
They are a sponsor of this podcast, but I'm just saying that because it's convenient and it's on Zoom. You can do it online. You can change therapists anytime you're not feeling, the therapist you're with. If you're having, sometimes the first try doesn't always take. So BetterHelp's a great place to start for that, and you can do it in your own home.
It's the best. Maybe do like listen. This is how I would do it. I would get into therapy. I would get your chick into therapy. I would definitely use BetterHelp only because online therapy is the only thing I would ever do. I would never go into person therapy. You'll never catch me in someone's fucking office again. And fuck that. And so, I'm gonna take my time. My time's anyway. So, and then I would casually bring it up to her. We're both in therapy. We want to make sure we're doing right by you. We would love if you're interested in it. We would take care of it. BetterHelp's very affordable, and we have a discount code. I don't know what it is. I'm sure we'll say it at some point. We have a discount code. You guys can all get I think 10% off your first. I forget what it is.
I don't remember either.
But casually bring it up to her and just to go hey, we don't need you to talk about us. We don't need you to talk about this. We just want you to just
you need support.
Talk about what you're getting. Talk about anything.
Well, here's the thing about therapy. This is the way I think about therapy. If there's something wrong with my car, I don't really try to fix it myself. I don't really know what I'm doing. Obviously, if my tire's low on air, I can do that. If my
can't.
If my window washer fluid is out, I can fill that. I can do basic things. But once we get to a certain point, I have to go find somebody who knows what they're doing and get it fixed. Therapy doesn't have to be forever. It can be for a moment. You can say, try it for a month and see if it improves your life. But besides that, the thing about being responsible for someone who's not your own is a very special kind of love as a recipient. So if you can let your 17-year-old person know how much you love them and that you care for them, that's a choice. Your mom and your dad don't really have a choice. They, of course, chose to have you, but they have to love you. But when you have a step parent or an aunt who chooses you, who chooses to take you in, who chooses to love you, that's a very different kind of love. So if you can just continue to present love to her, and she may not understand it today, but at some point she'll understand how special that love is. And really what kids want, I think, is to be seen and to be heard and to feel understood. I can tell you one thing with troubled kids. I say this, I'm no therapist, but my experience being a Girl Scout troop leader and having some kids that are troubled, recounting your personal experiences is not always the way to help them. The way to help them is to let them know they feel heard. In that, if someone came to me and said, I'm having trouble at school, there's a girl who's bullying me, she's talking shit about me in the bathroom, and it's really hurtful. What you would do is not to say, hey, that happened to me. I know exactly what you're talking about because when I was a kid, blah, blah, blah. That's not the right thing to do with troubled kids. Troubled kids need to know that you've heard them because usually they come from a place where they haven't been heard or validated. Yeah. So you have to come from a place of, how does it make you feel when that bully does that to you in the bathroom? I could understand why you would feel that way. How that must be hurtful. Are you feeling hurt? Are you feeling scared? To approach a teenager with curiosity and not with answers because they think they have all the answers. So you have to kind of let them think they have all the answers. And
I want to do a podcast where we give the absolute worst advice.
But that is what you do. Instead of saying, you were late. You know you were late.
You look like you've gained weight.
Well, you don't say that.
No, you control their trauma. What you do is you control their trauma.
You know they were late. You would say, why were you late? What? Did something hold you up? Did something happen? that's very different than you were late. And when you give them the opportunity to tell you something, if they lie, you can continue to ask questions and be curious until they can kind of run themselves off their own cliff. But if you come in going, you were late because you were at the house you said you weren't going to be and you were doing this, you're not allowing them their autonomy. And remember, what they want most is autonomy. So approaching a teenager, troubled or not, with curiosity as a parent, I think is the right way to go because it empowers them to have a voice. And at the same time, remember, you're not in control simply because you're asking a question.
Yeah.
If you're an adult and you have any smarts about you, you know where that kid's been and what they've been doing wrong. So then you know what questions to ask. Some people may call it soft parenting. I think it's more cunning parenting. It's more sophisticated parenting to come at it with curiosity and to see what they have to say. Mm-hmm. And then trust your instincts and be an adult. Always be an adult. If she starts falling apart, don't slip into being a child or a parent. Stay calm and stay an adult. Speak to her like an adult and be an adult in the situation.
I think that's great advice. And with the little amount we know about this exact situation, I think we probably covered all bases. Good luck, buddy.
Yeah, good luck.
Also, any hard conversations you're going to have with her, I would have it with your chick next to you.
100%.
Never do it alone.
100%.
Never do it alone.
100%.
Don't ever make a child feel uncomfortable at anything with one person in the room.
And the flip side of that is always present yourself as a team.
Yeah.
Because if you talk to her by yourself, then she'll go, well, I'll just go talk to the chick and I'll get what I want. So if you are a united front and you remain that way and you're consistently that way, first of all, she knows you both love her and care.
Yeah.
And second of all, she knows she can't get away with as much.
Okay, you ready?
Hi, LeeAnn. I really admire you as a mom and as a wife. I think you do a really great job being present in both of those roles. And my husband and I have been married for a few years, and we just had our first daughter. And I'm wondering, how do you keep that spark alive in your marriage? You kind of get into routine of certain things, and I feel like you have been married a really long time. I know you and Bert are really committed to each other. And when he travels and things like that, like how do you maintain not only being best friends with your partner, but also maintaining that spark, especially in the throes of parenthood and trying to be a good parent and be a present parent. And like you've talked about in previous podcasts, find the joy, And so I'm just curious, how do you keep that spark alive? What are your tips and tricks for a long withstanding marriage? I look forward to hearing your response. Bye.
All right, LeeAnn.
Yes.
5 things you do to keep our marriage fresh. You do. Not that I do. 5 things you do.
Fresh. Well, the dating you, I think that was a big one, right?
Mm-hmm.
I started dating you again to explain it for those who don't know. Dating your spouse is different than a date night. Dating is like thinking about how you were when you first started dating and what you felt like about seeing that person and what you did extra special when you knew you were going to see that person.
Like getting a Brazilian wax.
Yes. Yes, like that.
Like make his heart skip a beat.
Yes.
Go to dinner with him and go, I was excited about tonight. I've got a surprise for you. What?
And leave it there.
Yeah.
And really have the surprise. That is something.
That was fun. That was really fun. That was like, that was
that
fun.
surprised you.
Yeah. That was just like, that's fun. But that's a good way of dating. LeeAnn has been really good about taking me to concerts I want to see without telling what we're doing.
Yes.
That's really cool.
I've been buying lingerie just to buy lingerie for fun. And you can buy, listen, they have cute, adorable, amazing, and somewhat sexy lingerie at Target. You don't have to spend a lot of money to do some things. To make a guy feel special, it's not that hard. That's one thing I do. I do some things to take care of you. I am, that love language book is pretty accurate. I express love by doing things for Bert. So he ran out of LMNT and I ordered LMNT and I got it the next morning.
It was up by the coffee maker this morning. I saw it and I went, oh.
See? That's so easy to just be thoughtful. So dating and be thoughtful. 5 things. I don't know.
5 things is tough. Let's go 3.
Okay. I wear matching outfits with you like today.
That's okay. So that's my love language is like going like, I think about, just think about, put a little extra effort in thinking about the person when you shouldn't be thinking about the person. And then go, what would they like? Like for me, I like getting LeeAnn cool sneakers. Like little things that she might not think of getting, I'll buy and then have delivered and go, hey, what do you think? And then just out of the blue, she's like, oh, that's cool. I got us these matching tracksuits. I just saw, I was going through my favorite tracksuit people and I saw that in women and I was like, that's so badass. And so I bought it for LeeAnn going, that's a cool tracksuit. And then they had one matching for men and I went, oh, we should get matching tracksuits. I think you got to keep it fun. You really have to keep it fun and you have to keep it light and you have to do things. You know, I keep saying this, but if you want your marriage to stay stagnant, then keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, it's true.
You want to have it fresh, you got to stir it up a little bit.
Well, I've been talking about this a little bit too with my friends. One of the things that I shifted in myself that I think it means a lot is, Bert loves getting in a hot tub, loves getting in the sauna. And in the past, I'd be like, oh, I don't want to do that. I've just had this full day. I don't want to get wet. I don't want to get my hair wet. And I just looked at all the negatives of it. Where I started reframing it and going, wait a minute, it's a way to connect to Bert. And is it that big of a deal I get my hair wet? No. It takes me 10 minutes to take a shower. And then instead of watching like 3 shows in a row on TV, we go in the hot tub and watch 2 shows. It's so much better. But when you're in the middle of parenting, you're like, I don't fucking want to do that. I don't want to do one more thing. But sometimes that one more thing is way lighter lift than you think and pays off so much more.
It's also like, I missed this. It's been so long since we did it. It's almost been 3 days. But when LeeAnn would go, do you want to get a specialty cocktail?
Yes.
I love that. I love those little treats. Like you're being goofy and nerdy. It makes it fun to be with you. Also, we've been going out like crazy. Our kids are in college. So we've been going to concerts and we've been going out. We're supposed to go to a concert tonight, but we have this benefit thing we're trying to do. And I was like, yeah, I think it's just too much in one day to get up and do the whole day.
Yeah.
So, but
what are 3 things that you appreciate that I do for you?
I mean, I've said this to you. This is a little vulnerable, but I've said this to you. But like, I don't know. You've allowed me to be more in touch with myself, to be like sexually. I've never talked during sex, and now all of a sudden I am, because for some reason you started normalizing sex a little bit. I don't know how the right way to say it, but like, this is the thing is we went to like a sex shop kind
of as a joke, right?
A joke.
Yeah, it was a joke.
And it was,
but it was really fun.
It was fun. And then all of a sudden the conversation opened up about, hey, should we get something? And you're like, sure. And it was like, all of a sudden I was like, wow, I never thought this would happen in my life. So like I said, if you want it to stay stagnant, keep it the same and don't change it up. If you want to breathe life into it, then you got to get oxygen into there. And the only way to get oxygen is to open up a little new part that wasn't there and breathe it in. And
okay, there's your one. I'll do one, and then we'll do 3.
Okay.
What's wrong?
Nothing.
I love that when you make me breakfast. I love it.
Yeah.
You love making me breakfast, and I love it when you make me breakfast. So now what's another one?
This sounds crazy, but I like our project together. Like, but sometimes the project can be as simple as, hey, have you seen The English? Let's watch The English. Like we watched this TV show, The English, which was fucking incredible.
Wasn't it a great show?
Yeah. And
anybody who hasn't seen it, it's on Amazon Prime.
Getting into a show together is like fun. Make one episode a night and do it for a week and watch a whole season in a week and just have something to look forward to, talking to each other about it during the day. I don't know. It's like intellectual foreplay.
Okay, here's mine. I like when you hose off my car.
Oh,
because you don't want my car to be dirty.
Yeah.
I love that.
Cool. That's my OCD. I'm glad that you like my OCD.
I like some of it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that we walked to work the other day. Like it's fun to do. I like exercising with you.
Like we do active things together. Yeah. I like that too. That was my third, is that we do stuff like that together. That we go wave surfing, that we went surfing, that we seem to do a lot of active things. Not everything, but a lot of active. Like, I don't know how to play golf, but I like that we do stuff like that together. You know what? Her other question was, how do you maintain a long-term relationship? One of the things I think that's really key to mine and your relationships is that we're both curious about each other a bit. Like, curious about, like you were saying, you're curious about things. And I'll go, well, let's explore that curiosity. But also about how we think and how we feel and how we process emotions. And we've always been kind of curious about each other instead of thinking you know something. Because the thing about a long life together is that change and growth is the goal, right? So if you are the same person, you're not really reaching any goals. And how would you know how a partner changed if you weren't curious about it? You have to be curious. And another thing that we've always done is this thing called the summit, where we sit down and really discuss where our head is for everything. Kind of the summit is a moment to kind of lay your weapons down at the door and say, what do you think about our money? What do you think about our jobs? What do you think about our sex life, our love life, our kids, our in-laws? Just kind of lay all cards on the table and discuss where you are. It's like taking each other's temperature in a very organized and focused way with the intention of making it better and to always want the other person to be happy. Like Bert said something to me last week where I was having trouble in my day job. And he said, I want you to be as happy in your day job as I am in mine. And that's what you should want for each other. You should want each other to be happy so that when you fight, you want the other person to be happy. You don't want just to fulfill your own needs. That's what I think.
I hope that helps.
I think it would help.
Hey, LeeAnn. My name's Chase, 19. I graduated in the spring of 23. And my question is, how is it looked at of me working full time instead of going to college? I race like a little version of cars. I want to, take some time and make sure to see if I can get anything done with that and try and live a dream before, I resign myself to going to college and, having to be somewhere I really don't want to be. And I love the podcast. And thank you.
Adorable 19-year-old. That's adorable. What do I feel about college? I feel like college is specific to certain people, but not everybody. I really don't think everybody needs to go to college. I think it depends on what you want to do. However, I do think you need to have a plan. You can't just be like, meh, whatever, and blow off life. It sounds like you have a little bit of a plan. But there's a lot of value in just living life and going to college later. That's my opinion. Or not at all. If you don't need, hey, if someone's dream is to own like a really great lawn care business, do you need to go to college for that? No, you could probably take a couple bookkeeping, accounting classes, maybe some business classes at a community college to forward yourself and go for it. I don't think that you need to go to college to be successful in life.
I think the question is pertaining exactly to him.
Yes.
Because he wants to roll the dice. He is not writing off college.
No.
He wants to roll the dice on his passion and see what happens. Buddy, the answer is very simple. You have to do the thing that your heart tells you to do because you will regret it your entire fucking life if you don't try right now.
Now's
that is
the time.
Very simple. And college is always there for you. You can always go to college. By the way, college may be helpful, or parts of a community college may be helpful as you achieve this dream. As you achieve this dream, you may say to yourself, I wouldn't mind to learn some engineering. I wouldn't mind to learn some mechanics, some general mechanics, or some math might help me out in this. I'm going to take those classes. But without a fucking doubt, you follow your heart and follow this dream. You will kill yourself if you don't do it. And by the way, Ron Marchand does exactly what this kid does.
Racing small cars.
He loves them. He fucking loves it.
That's great.
It's such a big culture.
Is it?
And I think it's badass. And we made fun of Ron until we saw what he did, and we're like, oh fuck, that's really crazy.
That's cool.
But we made fun of him because we love him. We were just busting his balls. We weren't like actually mocking him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you got to follow your heart And college is always going to be there for you.
There's lots
Go
of
to college
ways.
at 24. I knew dudes that went to college at 24.
Totally. There's lots of ways to skin the cat alive, right? You don't have to do it the same way everybody else
You can
does.
skin a cat alive?
Skin the cat of life.
Oh, I was like, you can skin a cat. There's lots of ways. To
Skin the
a
cat of
alive.
life. Sorry. And you do it your way. Make yourself happy.
Yeah.
But if you are, this is not just for him, it's for anybody. If you start following a path and you feel lost, let me tell you what your 20s are supposed to be about. Your 20s are supposed to be about figuring out who you are and what you want to do. And you can't do that unless you try, unless you make some mistakes. So go for it. I agree with you, Bert.
Hi, LeeAnn. My name is Samantha. I'm a huge fan of yours and Bert. So is my husband. We are currently 12 weeks pregnant, and obviously you have 2 children. And nobody really talks about the anxiety that comes with being pregnant and all the things that can take place. Obviously, we look up to you guys as mentors, and I was kind of wondering if you have any advice or tips on how to try and be as stress-free as possible. We love you guys. You guys are amazing, and we appreciate you guys just putting laughter and smiles out there in the world. Thanks.
Well, thank you very much
Yeah,
from
that's
both of
very
us.
sweet.
You know, if men got pregnant, all they'd talk about is the anxiety of being pregnant.
If men got pregnant, there would be no species. It would have been over a long time ago. There's no way you guys could do what we do.
We watched someone give birth last night, and she was young.
Yeah.
And it was heartbreaking, like how scared she was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like no one, you could see it in her eyes.
Yeah.
And you were like, this is, oh my God.
Well, converse to that, here's what I would say about taking stress out of being pregnant is that your body was meant to do exactly this. So every woman in the world can have a baby. I mean, obviously, some people have issues having babies, but your body is built to have a baby. So if you can just relax into knowing that your body will know what to do, this is something that is, inherent. You'll just know how to do it. So if you can listen to your body, like I was really morning sick with Georgia and I slept a lot because I didn't feel good. And so I was lucky enough to have a job at the time. I was managing an apartment building. So I worked from home that I could sleep when I was sleepy. I think I took like 3 naps a day with Georgia when I was pregnant with her. When I was pregnant with Isla, I had a lot of energy. So I was like going to tennis lessons and just listen to your body and really pay attention to what you need. Drink lots of water, get lots of rest, because when the baby gets here, you're not going to have time for either. Well, you have time for water, but not a lot of time for rest. I think too that there's a joke sort of. The first baby you like freak out about everything. And by the second baby, you let eat dirt, right? Because you've already been through it once. Babies are hard to break. They're hard to hurt. They're built pretty tough. They're like Tonka tough, really tough. So if you can relax and know that you really kind of have to try to hurt a baby, that it's not. You feel like you got to hold them right, and you don't know how to do this, you don't know how to do that, and what if I get water in his face, and what if I, his neck goes to the side one time? They're okay. They really are really resilient little critters.
Georgia fell off the bed 3 times. Isla fell down this flight of stairs a number of times.
It's just they're born to bounce. Their bones aren't fully formed when they're grown for a long time. Georgia pulled herself up on our ottoman and broke her arm, but when she was 8 months old, and it wasn't a break; it was a bend because they just aren't solid yet. I'll tell you this, the first 2 weeks they're alive, my Aunt Diane was head nurse of labor and delivery, and she told me the first 2 weeks they're alive, they're basically still in utero. So yes, they need to smell you and be connected to you and all that stuff. They also can sleep on any other body. Somebody else can give them a bottle. Here's something else I would say. Don't freak yourself out about breastfeeding or not. I breastfed both my daughters for a year.
Amen.
Because that was something that was actually easier for me than pumping. Again, I managed an apartment building. I worked from home, and Bert was traveling. So for me to sit and pump was like double work. So for me, it was just easier to slap them on a boob and move on with my day, including waking them up at night. That's not true for everybody.
Mm-mm.
I was formula raised and I'm healthy as a horse. So don't guilt yourself out about what other people are doing or what society says you should be doing as a new mother. What you should be doing the first 2 weeks you have a child is sleep. Your body needs to heal. And what your body needs to heal is sleep and hydration and good nutrition. And if you will get those first 2 weeks under your belt, you will feel so much better. And that baby does not know it's in the world for those first 2 weeks.
Nope.
So fall in love with the baby, but let everybody else who wants to help you, let them do it. And say thank you and go take a nap because you'll feel so much better if you do. What advice do you have for your
Zero.
parents?
I have zero advice. I wouldn't know what to do. If I got someone pregnant today, I wouldn't know what to do. I'd be like, LeeAnn did this on her own.
You would go, that's a miracle baby.
Let me get LeeAnn for you. I don't know. I was not, I can honestly say, and I'm being an honest assessment, I was maybe not the best partner in you being pregnant. I did stuff with you and I hung out with you and I thought you were beautiful and I was like, I
had pretty event-free pregnancy.
And then even when we had the kids, I was like,
well, my
tell me
birth
what
with
to do.
Georgia was rough and you didn't know what to do there. But
yeah, and even with Isla, I was like, I think I know what to do. And then I was like, not really. And so, yeah, I don't know. And I didn't show up in their lives, meaning they had such an intense connection with LeeAnn that I didn't really show up in their lives until like 18 months. Like they were so dialed into you that I'd spend time with them and I'd hold them and I'd carry them and I'd put them in the car seat.
You play
or whatever.
with them.
I play with them.
You were very connected
but they were
to them.
dialed into you. They were you, and you told me they're your food. You're their food.
I was their food for 12 months. And so they, and again,
they'd lose their mind with me and I would try to latch them onto my nipples. But, I think it's the hair.
Maybe.
Would make them gag.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
The flossers.
Yeah.
I will say this. You will be fine. You will do a great job.
Go to Pornhub and type in vaginal fisting.
What?
And you'll see how much you can put in there. You'll be shocked. I just watched the video today.
No.
It was on Instagram and they showed me how they clear out the rest of the baby. And it's like, it's amazing what'll fit in there. It's amazing what comes out of there.
It's like a suitcase.
Yeah. It's amazing how big that thing gets. I wish that happened with our dicks. I wish there was a moment where they're like, it's 17 inches.
They would just fill with fluid.
I'd be like, why don't we keep it like this?
Yeah, you're going to be fine. Just, rely on the people who offer to help you. Let them help you.
Yes.
Let them help you.
And name it Bert. All right.
All right.
That was a good episode.
You think so?
I think so. I think we were very thoughtful with the questions we had.
I think so.
You so more than me.
Did you leave anything out of any of the answers you gave?
No, I don't think so.
Anything you'd like to add?
No.
No? What do you think's been the most challenging thing about being married?
What are we doing here?
Just wrapping it up.
Just wrapping it up?
What's been the most challenging? Because I think it's important. Hey, we have a really good relationship. We're really good friends and we have a really great marriage. But it's not perfect every day. I think it's really good. And part of my podcast is so that you have real conversations about real things. And real thing is, what's the most challenging thing about being married? Or our marriage or me?
Honestly, I mean, I think I'm the most difficult part about our marriage right now. I really do, because I'm like a little bit of a mess. And I'm trying to write about it on stage, but I don't know if people want to hear about it. But like, I don't think I realized that I've never had depression. I've never had it. I have OCD and I have anxiety, but I've never had depression. And I think when the girls left, I got legit a little taste of depression, a taste of like the quietness being sad, as opposed to like when you have kids, the quietness is a joy.
It's a relief.
And you're like, oh, fucking finally.
Yeah.
And I think I was compensating unknowingly with cocktails at 5:00 after work. I was afraid to go home. I was really afraid to go home. And so
what makes that challenging about being
the
married?
marriage is that
it's just the two of you?
It's that you're with this person and you don't realize, maybe this is life, maybe it's not just marriage, but you're with this person and you realize This is great. We're starting a family together. This is great. We're buying our first house together. Oh, this is great. We're buying a big house together. Oh, let's buy a car. Hey, our kids are going to high school. Oh, this is going to be awesome. She got accepted to college. I can't believe she got accepted to college. And then all of a sudden you realize, oh, so now I'm with this person and this is it's past halftime and we're entering the third quarter. And I'm going like, so wait, I think my problem has been like, what are our highlights for the second half of the game?
Mm-hmm.
Like there were always these highlights in the first half of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's going to kindergarten. Someone's going to high school. Someone's going to grade school. Someone's got a first ballet, thing. Softball tournament. And you get so caught up in the movement of it, and like you don't think about a shark attacking you when you're caught in the waves and they're landing on top of you. But when it gets silent out there and you're in the deep water where there's no waves, that's when your brain starts spinning.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my brain has been spinning, and I think my brain has been spinning maybe not in the most healthy way since the girls left. And it's like, what really sucks is when I wake up and you're not there and it's just me in the house, or when I get home and you're not there and it's just me in the house. And I don't think I was super honest with the effect it had on me until like this morning when I was like, it was quiet as shit. And I was like, I'm like, why am I not feeling absolute joy right now?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, usually during Sober October, my favorite thing is to wake up and go, ooh, I got coffee coming. I've never done Sober October without the girls. And then I heard myself say, well, what's the fucking point? I was like, what are you doing?
This sounds like an existential crisis about life. I don't know that this has to do with our marriage.
I'm sure it is about life. But I say marriage because it's like me and you have been a team for so long. I don't know what it's not like to be a team.
We're still a team.
I know. So I'm saying my team, in my team.
You mean big team?
In my team, I'm dealing with this. Mm-hmm. I'm never by myself. Nothing happens in a vacuum with me in my life.
Yeah.
So like I'm saying, in my team, if we're talking about my team, I feel like my team's got. I feel like it's just me and Gronk, and we're carrying the team, and Gronk doesn't seem to know that no one else is playing, so I don't know. That's how I just felt.
Am I Gronk?
You're Gronk. You're definitely Gronk.
And I don't know. No one else is playing ball.
I'm Tom Brady.
And I'm Gronk.
I'm listening to you talk about fucking fun trips and girls' weekends and girls' dinners and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, there's tons of people you could call and play golf and do stuff with.
Yeah.
Okay, my most challenging part about marriage?
That's me.
No, it's not you. No, that's not fair. And I'm not accepting that as my answer.
What is it?
And I get to answer for myself, by the way. I'm
dying to hear it.
Most challenging thing about marriage is having your partner answer for you.
Shut up. It's me. See, I told you it's me.
Well, you do answer for me a lot. But I think the most challenging part about marriage is the times when we're not on the same page and we have to just move past that. It doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen sometimes where we are not on the same page. So you have to choose then, is this the hill I'm going to die on, or am I just going to move on from it? And, sometimes you have to die on the hill and you have to bring it up again and bring it up again. And sometimes you just let it go. And I think sometimes knowing which is the right thing for yourself is the hard part, because for me, I tend to put our marriage before myself. And so sometimes I struggle with that. Is this one of those times where I really need to speak up for myself, or is this one of those times where it doesn't really matter?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think married people go through that a lot. There's 3 people in this marriage: you, me, and our union together.
Oh yeah.
Right? There's like 3 different entities. You as an individual.
I thought you were going to say the cats.
That would be 4 people.
And
you as an individual, me as an individual, and us.
Yeah.
So us is the focus, but there is some of me that doesn't always agree with us. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what's hard for me. That's the hardest thing for me, is when to know to be on my team only or on our team together. No comment on that?
No, I feel the same way.
You do?
Yeah.
As well as being challenged with me being your only social outlet.
What are we doing tonight?
I don't know. What do you want to do?
Hang on, let me call all my friends.
What do you want to do tonight?
I don't know. I'm going to call one of my friends and see what
Figure it
they're
out.
up to. Maybe I'll do something with my friend.
Oh, you just do that, mister. Oh. Hello?
Hey, what are you doing tonight?
I'm hanging out with you, I think.
Cool. All right. Do you want me to call my other friends up, or is it just cool with me and you?
I think I am your other friend.
You're my only friend.
You're so goofy. Everybody thinks I'm goofy, but you're really pretty goofy.
I know. All right. I love you. Let's take this tracksuit off. I'm sweating my ass off.
Okay. Well, thank you, everybody, for all your questions. I love these podcasts.
I do
think
too.
they're
I really
fun.
enjoy them.
I'd expected to do them alone, and I always feel so bad when I want you to join anytime you want to join, but you're so busy, I always feel bad.
I know. I still have a very busy day, actually, so let's wrap this up.
Okay. Well, thanks,
All right, I love
everybody. All right. Love you too.